Welcome everyone to episode 427 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast, Swolecast, livecast, broadcast, broadcast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex. No one's here, but we flex our biceps. Welcome to the Gain Train, welcome to Pump Town, welcome to Papa Swoleo's Corner. Come on down, sit right here on the couch, and come chill with old Papa Swoleo for episode 427.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Let me tickle the paint. 427. Ooh, high seven. You're so sexy. Look at you, all seven. Look at you, lucky sevens. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Fucking loves it. 427 fucking loves it when I stroke it. Welcome to episode 427, live every day at 12 noon Eastern time. 12 noon Eastern time, the best time. High noon, bitches. High noon, all the time. You can catch every episode on YouTube. You could also listen to this as a podcast. So if you don't want to watch all Papa Swoleo, I get it. You're busy. Maybe you're not a Beard fan. Maybe you're not a Gaines fan. I don't know why you're watching or listening. Anyway, if you're not a Gaines fan. But you can listen on SoundCloud and iTunes for the podcast. Welcome, everyone. This episode is an interesting one. And I was thinking between two different topics, two things I wanted to go over today. And I decided on being swole versus being Swolenormous. Being swole versus being Swolenormous. And this is not being me. That's not what being Swolenormous is. That's not what being Swolenormous is. So I want to talk about being swole and relate this to being Swolenormous, to what we're doing here, what we as a community have put together and what we appreciate here on the fucking Daily Sleazy. So thank you for joining. Make sure that you like this broadcast. Make sure that you share this broadcast. And also, especially after we are done with live, make sure you tag some people that need to get their ear holes jammed up with some gains. If you want to shove some biceps in someone's ears, all you gotta do is share the broadcast. All you gotta do is tag someone. This painting in the background is a skyline of Cleveland. I'm not gonna show it. You know what? What the fuck? Let me show it, right? Come on, somebody show it. I'll do it. There you go. Ew. I just didn't want to give this weird angle right here. So this is the way I'm gonna shoot. Don't get distracted by the painting. But I'm glad everyone's interested in the art behind me. But maybe you're interested in this sculptor. Look at that. Bam! Carved out of stone. I'm just kidding. Mind, body, and swole. What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks for joining me. Let's jump into it. Episode 427. Lit like a tit. Let's do it. Let's drop some knowledge nukes all over this city. Look at this. Like those special effects? Jerry Bruckheimer's behind the camera for the Daily Swole 427. So thanks for joining. Let's get into being swole versus being Swolenormous. What are you training for? So I talk a lot about what you're training for. What is your goal? What is your purpose? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to get bigger? Are you trying to get leaner? Are you trying to get more athletic? Are you trying to get stronger? Doesn't matter what your goal is. Doesn't matter what your goal is. The important thing is that you have systems in place, that you have a target. There's something that you want to achieve. And that's what we're doing here. We are working to help each other get to an endpoint. And the interesting thing about that is that no matter what, we are going towards that endpoint. No matter what, you're going towards that endpoint. You are going to die eventually. You are going to get older. No matter what, there's certain things that happen in life, like time, it doesn't stop. So we're moving forward no matter what. So we think about our progress because we're moving forward, because we're always taking the next step, whether we are in a good mood, whether we feel like training, we're always moving forward. That's why it has to be disciplined. That's why it has to be based on systems, because it has to be done, because it's going to happen. So it's like, why float through life? It's going to be tomorrow. You better be ready to fucking attack tomorrow. You're going to have another day in the gym. You better prepare the systems to crush it and to be consistent to do it in the gym again tomorrow and the next day. And progress and results is built over an accumulation, and one, coating of paint over the other, just layers and layers and layers. So being swole is synonymous with looking a certain way. Yeah, you're swole. Looking a certain way, having a certain physical appeal, having a certain aesthetic appeal. That's what it means to be swole. To have something like, okay, I have a six-pack. Okay, you're swole. Oh, I am big and strong. Okay, you're swole. But what does it mean to be Swolenormous? What does it mean to be what we always preach here in the Daily Swole? What is the goal from being a part of the Swolenormous community? What does it mean to be Swolenormous? And it all comes down to what I did put together and I articulated clearly for the 90-Day Dash program. It's those three components: fixing your fitness, fixing your food, and then fixing your mind. It's everything. It's intricately interweaving and appreciating how synonymous, how parallel, and how dependent the mind and the body and your entire lifestyle and the subtleties of your individuality. Because we can talk about a concept. Yeah, we can talk about a concept. We can talk about building strength. We can talk about cutting body fat. We can talk about yoga. We can talk about all these things. But all these different umbrellas, all these different coatings, all these different concepts they look different when it applies to John, when it applies to Peter, when it applies to, Samantha, when it applies to, Kathy. It looks different. So all of these different topics, and what I find interesting about Swolenormous and what we are doing here is that there's 427 episodes. That's a lot of fucking episodes. There's one every day. Every damn day making those sick gains. Oh. And if every single person, each and every one of you watches, listens, absorbs each episode. Think about this. Ready? Stay with me. If each and every single one of you, and some of you, and float some hearts and thumbs if you have gone back into the archives. Float some hearts, wake the fuck up. Where are those hearts at? Wake the fuck up. This is an interactive live cast. I can upload a video. Are you here? Are you watching me live? Then wake up. If I'm speaking to you in person and you stand there and be like, no, you're going to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, Swolio. Woo, yeah. Rah, rah, Swolio. Or you'll be throwing tomatoes. But float some hearts. Like, live. Don't just sit there like a zombie. Let me know you're watching. Oh, thank you. You're alive. I appreciate it. My live listeners are actually alive. Thank you. They're not Facebook bots. I appreciate that. Fuck. But let's talk about this. All right, so Eric hits him up on YouTube. Do you watch? Drop in the comment. Have you gone back and watched some of those and listened to those episodes in the archives? My point being, if there's, let's take 100 people. If 100 people go back and watch or listen to every single episode, each and every one of those 100 people are going to get something different out of those 427. For some of you, or one person might, episode 29, whatever that was, will kind of strike and flip a switch and be like, wow, that really makes sense. Someone else will feel a real connection with what we talked about in episode 192. And the next person will really love episode 278 because that just spoke to them. So what is interesting to me is that there are so many, it's like a Rubik's Cube. There's so many of you watching this, and there's so many episodes. And the reason why Swolenormous, the reason why we cover so many different topics and episodes is because there's so many different layers and shades and aspects to you as an individual. Each person has so many different dimensions: your past, your emotions, your feelings, your relationships with your parents, your relationships with, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your kids. Everyone's got that episode. You know what? Let's do this. Which episode really hit home for you? That's what I want to know. Leave in the comments below. That's what I want to do this episode. While I keep talking, I want everyone, if stay here, you can always look later. If you have an episode that that really hit you hard, and you remember, man, that really spoke to me, drop that number in the comments. I want to know which episodes that really connected with you. So being swole and being swolenormous, the difference is not just observing and being aware that you have different facets, not just being aware that you have many different aspects to yourself as a person, personality. It's not, oh, wow, I know I'm not just like a two-dimensional individual, but the fact that you are working to grow them. That not only do you observe that you have these different aspects, not only do you observe that the mental approach is extremely important, is a backbone, is essential for your success, but that you're working to improve, that you're working to develop that as much as your muscles. Think of it as part of your sets. Think of it as part of your workout, to work on your brain, to work on your outlook on life, to look on your scheduling, to look at how you procrastinate or how you view your goals or how you set your systems in place, your time management. These are all things that are going to help you, that are going to transcend just going to the gym. They're going to transcend just getting your workout done. They're going to transcend just building some muscle. They're going to transcend just burning some fat. They're going to transcend just having a six-pack. It's going to bleed into relationships. It's going to bleed into your work. It's going to bleed into your life. It's going to bleed into your life. And that's what I want you to get out of exercise and fitness and this community, is that it's relatable to everything. Your mental approach, your physical approach, what you put in your body, the fuel you give your body, all these things are so fucking important. They're so important. They all make a huge difference. They all make you who you are. And also, all the different degrees and all the different tweaks and all the things you can do with nutrition, all things you can do with your workout, with the acute variables that we discuss, how long you rest, the exercise you choose, the order, the tempo of the exercise, like the tempo of the repetition, the overall sets that you're doing, whether you're doing barbells or dumbbells, all the different subtleties that you can tweak in terms of acute variables in a workout. Those are all going to be adjusted based on all the different aspects of who you are as a person. Some people really mesh well with higher intensity training. It's just, it locks in with their personality. That's why some people love to do boxing. That's why some people love to do running. That's why some people love to do swimming. There's something about those activities, when people inherently enjoy them, that clicks with who they are, that create some kind of a peace, that creates some kind of like a moving meditation. That is why, I always say, if you love to run, man, if you want abs and you want to look a certain way, running's not the answer. It's just not. But if you love to run, then why would you take that away from yourself? But you also have to understand that the goal that you want might not really work perfectly with that activity. But you have to gauge your enjoyment, what you truly want, what makes you happy, and all those things. But being Swolenormous is being aware of that and developing all the layers. Looking at everything not as separate entities, but looking at them as one whole piece and one whole system and one whole ecosystem inside your body, inside your brain. And that is why they are all important. Everything is important. Everything is important. Keith, you don't have to run to get abs. Fuck no, you don't have to run to get abs. I have abs and I don't run. You don't have a tiger chasing you. You don't need to run 5 miles a day. You can do sprints. That makes sense. Avoiding danger. You don't need to run long distance. You have a car. That's just the way that life is. But some people enjoy running. Anyway, I do agree. Come on. I want the human body to move the way the human body is designed. I don't think, in today's society, there's any inherent need for the human body to run 25 fucking miles straight. You're meant to walk 25 miles, but not run for pace. That's just ludicrous. Doesn't mean the body can't do it and adapt to it. I just don't think it's what, people should be trying to do. But that's what it comes down to. Right? That's what it comes down to. Being swole, looking a certain way and having a certain thing, or developing everything, for the body to be balanced and for the body to really be appreciated and be maximized to its fullest potential. So a lot of what you're looking for, because you're not Swolenormous yet. If you're not Swolenormous yet, if you haven't been enlightened, if you haven't seen the light, then you have to look at the source. You have to look to things like time management. You have to look towards things like program design. You have to look towards things like systems that you set in place. Those are the reasons, not the workout. It's not the diet. Those aren't the reasons why you're failing. Those aren't the reasons why you're not getting results in fitness. It's not because you didn't have broccoli last night. It's not because you took a day off in the gym or you didn't do deadlifts this week. It's because you don't have the right systems in place. You don't have the right systems in place. You don't have the right mindset. You're not focused on the journey being the successful part. You're not focused on the journey being what is getting you results. You're focused on whether you lost a number like 10 pounds, whether you can see a little less fat covering your abdominal muscles. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Like, there's this much fat covering my rectus abdominis. I want there to be like this much. I have like this much right now, but I want it to be this much. That's my goal. Wow, that's very shallow-minded, and that's very shallow goals, to be honest. You need to have the right systems in place. You need to have the right time management. You need to have the right outlook on your process. And I'm telling you, that's why I push that shit so hard, because that is what sends people off. If you quit, you have fucking nothing. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter what the workout is. Doesn't matter how expensive your gym membership is. If you stop doing it, it's fucking worth dick. And it's amazing how many people just stop doing this. Stop doing the work, regardless of whether they have fancy stuff, whether they have 3 jobs, whether they have 3 kids. It doesn't matter. Quitting is quitting. You can make any excuse you want. You're doing the work or you're not doing the work. It's 1 or 0. It's simple. And don't try and tell me it's because you can only bench 120 and not bench 135. That's not why you're not getting results. It's all relative. It's all relative. You're not getting results because you're not looking at the right metrics. You're not looking at the right shit. You're thinking about everything wrong. And that is why we are not here to be swole. We are here to be Swolenormous. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 427 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thanks for joining me for episode 427. Every day live here at 12 noon Eastern time. Catch them all on YouTube or listen to the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. I'll catch y'all on the flip. See you on Instagram stories. You can DM me there. You can message me here on Facebook. Comment below. Remember, comment below your favorite episode. Which one maybe you watch and you're like, holy shit, I love this show. And then you start following Papa Swolio. Which one you've gone back and really connected with. I want to know below. Drop a comment, share, tag someone. Love you. Peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 12 noon. Same time, same place. Maybe same place, but definitely same time for episode 428. Later, guys.